the very distant past from now, there was a man named Shabriri in the lands. Extremely condescending, almost flirtatious. His eyes were gouged out as punishment for slander, and a yellow light dwelled in his empty sockets. The blight of frenzied flame. This blight that starts from eyes burning spread ever so quickly to wipe out an entire village. So within a place deeper than the subterranean shedding grounds, people were forced to put the afflicted in quarantine. In time, Shabriri was marked in history as the cause of this maddening blight. And people believed that he would incarnate in different bodies to spread the flame of frenzy as his avatar. After more years, before the Tarnished made it to the lands, there was another Tarnished who managed to obtain 2 great runes. His name was Vyke, loved by ancient dragon Lansax. He was considered as the would-be Elden Lord in his time. But as the thorns of refusal stopped him in his tracks, Vyke had to make a choice. The only way to enter the Earth Tree was to burn the tree. Just like Melena's case, Vyke needed to sacrifice his maiden. While Vyke could not make that choice for his quest, a stranger came to talk to him. Then without hesitation, he headed to the depths of royal capital Leyndell. And when the knight returned wearing scorched armor, Vyke had been turned into something else. Then another long time passed in the lands. The Tarnished returned to this land to fulfill his destiny and helped another Tarnished hunting bloody fingers named Yura, and aided his revenge, as well as being with him when he died.
It seems I am no match for you.
Later, during his journey, the Tarnished ran across a blind maiden.
My name is Hyetta, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? My eyesight has been weak since birth, you see. But when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden.
As Hyetta asked him to fetch those grapes, the Tarnished did obtain the grape that a nearby spirit was holding. But this grape was surely an eyeball of the victim of the flame.
Oh,
it was disturbing,
many thanks to you.
But he gave it to Hyetta anyways.
Now I can feel the distant light once more. You are most kind indeed.
Later, blind Hyetta could somehow make her way through those grapes offered by strangers and headed north via its grace. Then she ran into the Tarnished again. And with another grape, she drew strength
many
again.
thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. That aside, I wonder what Shabriri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold. No. That's not possible. Their own... So those noises I heard were...
The truth shook Hyetta greatly. But when the Tarnished ran into her
Is that
again...
you over there? I've gleaned something very important indeed, thanks to you.
She was enlightened, rather, with everyone's eyes. She was determined to be a finger maiden.
I will be a finger maiden.
And when the Tarnished
Hello.
ran into her in Church of
Hey,
Bella,
over there. Have you ever heard of fingerprint grapes?
she asked for one made from those grasped by the burnt fingers. The fingerprint grape.
The distant light seems far closer than before, but I can't sense a thing from the usual grapes anymore. Please, Could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? Without one, I don't know. I feel like I might go mad.
Thus, the Tarnished headed to the Frenzied Flame village. He found many sick suffering, and a continually burning flame, as if it was the incarnation of the villagers' agony. The sight of the burning flame tormented the Tarnished. Yet he endured through. And soon, he encountered festering fingerprint Vyke. Wielding a weapon festered with flame, and casting incantations. He was more than a challenging foe. But the flame that burned his eyes somehow drew a new kind of strength within him. Feeling rather satisfied with the new powers, the Tarnished presented Vyke with a painful death. Thus, with the fingerprint grape in hand, leaving behind Vyke's dead maiden, the Tarnished gave Hyetta the grape. With extreme pleasure, Hyetta consumed Vyke's eyeballs.
How sweet. How it burns.
And continued with her quest of being a maiden.
I've composed myself again.
Later, with the weapon looted from Vyke, and the flame, he made it to the thorns, then accepted Melina's offer to burn the Earth Tree,
tree aflame,
and got to the mountaintops of the giants to encounter the most unexpected, Yura, whom he saw draw his final breath.
Finally, we meet the Tarnished, who would be Lord. Oh my, why the long face? I fear that you were previously acquainted with this vessel. Well, that is most unfortunate, for he is dead. As for his flesh, he gave it to me, Shabriri.
Shabriri had taken Yura's body. He said one who has to sacrifice his poor maiden to ascend would not be seen as a true resolved lord, then told him to seek power to burn the Earth Tree himself, and told him to seek the flame of frenzy far below the royal capital.
If you inherit the flame of frenzy, your flesh will serve as kindling, and the girl can be spared. Burn the Earth Tree to the ground and incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. Ah, may chaos take the world. May chaos take the world!
There is a way Melina could be spared, like Vyke did in the past, to find a way to save his maiden. The Tarnished descended down, taking down the ill-omened, countless children of royal blood. He descended far below, and through a hidden path, the Tarnished entered the catacombs built with the Forsaken. In this tall labyrinth made as if to test one's will. Countless times, he fell, again and again, until he made it to the lowest floor to have an unexpected reunion with Hyetta.
So you're here as well, are you? I realized as we've talked, I'll be a maiden, and you, surely a lord.
To prevent him from being scorched with his armor like Vyke, she told him to disarm entirely before the frenzied three fingers.
And the three fingers will welcome you. May the flame of chaos find purchase within you.
However, Melina, who had been silently observing, intervened with desperation to stop.
Deny not the lives, the new births of this world. Those who would are not fit to be called Lord.
And told the Tarnished of the truth of the frenzied flame. All had come from the one great. Then came births and souls, and many wills became intertwined. Torment, despair, affliction, sin, curses were born. And only because one was born, all were forced to live lives of fracture, of suffering. There was only one way to solve this problem. With the yellow chaos flame, melt all of this world away in its entirety, to bring everything into one again. This was the frenzied flame's true intent. Still, was it because he wanted to save Melina no matter what? Or because he was actually convinced with that chaotic idea? The Tarnished took off his gear, restraining him, and slowly walked towards the prescription.
The flame of chaos has nestled within you. Could you please rest your hand upon me, to make me your maiden? Oh, it burns. My eyes, they're melting. Those who gave me grapes howled without words, saying they wished they were never born. Become their lord, take their torment, despair, their affliction, every sin, every curse, and melt it all away. As the Lord of Chaos, no more fractures, no more birth.
Thus, he was chosen by the frenzied flame. Now his solemn duty was to bring back the right to be not born to the living in despair. Melina had left, swearing to seek vengeance to the Tarnished who ignored her.
I will kill you. Such is my duty, for allowing you the strength of runes.
And meanwhile, the Tarnished went up to the mountaintops to burn the earth tree, using himself as kindling. Later, he took down Malekith to unbound destined death. And with Frenzied Flame, he defeated all of his enemies. During his journey, he could have used Empyrean Michaela's Needle to ward away the frenzied flame within, to become Elden Lord with Melviner by his side. But the Tarnished already became Frenzied Flame itself, and there was only one thing he could do.
Lord of Frenzied Flame. I will seek you as far as you may travel. To deliver you what is yours. Destined death.